is from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong, but then military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I got that day. Remember when me tell you say I got that day. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way you go like a Papa Nuku. But them they will go me tell you what I look pandi what pandi Samiro me tell you what I day. For me the front and the rest of man I tell you what I do. Me know that you come to tell them
I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
And I look up to the sky with tears in my eye. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in the heart, we'll never be apart. They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front, without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We play in our history that the death of my people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bombed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now if not you? You died at Mali, 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 Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in the heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes, so I'm following you.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause we to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire, yeah.
They paid the ultimate price. Yeah. They died for the freedom of unborn child. Yeah. We live for the legacy.
free. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is. We must revenge, and we must stand to represent who we are.
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma chọrọ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ achọrọ ihe niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị chigata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ dakata anyị isi ọ sị n'ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wusi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-emeghị omimi n'ime ya ngwa gị gbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwepụghị kọwara m ọmụa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwuwu na ebe a rụgidere ụlọ a na ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria agaghị emekọtanwu ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wee chere na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi a na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị iro kọ nke ndị ụmụnne ha egosighị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpọrọ anyị asị onye ajụrụ ajụ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye ghara ndụ kpakụ onye ire rie n'ihe ọ Ndụbụisi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka anyị cheghata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee karịa obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwekwe n'ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro ekwu okwu asị ọ bụ gịnị ma anyị ji wee ekwu okwu ụmụ ihe ndị a ka anyị sị na anyị agaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ.
Akụkọ akọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na ewu agaghị nzukọ ụmụ anụmanụ a na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ maọbụ nwụchụ aja mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu enwe ha na-eto esi wee kpam akpụrụ ndị Igbo ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ maọbụ ka ọ pụtara na anyị agaghị nzukọ mere ya bụ ihe eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo ahụ kpafu n'obodo Naijiria agaghị
ọ bụ site na akpamasị ihe na-eme anyị dịka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga etu ọkụka mba niile dị iche iche ji kpọọ ụmụ Izrel asị a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe ekegbuo anyị nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na na-ese etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a onwe ha na-ekwu okwu odo na nyere onwe onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụghị ofu ugboro ọnwụghị ugboro abụọ ọnwụghị ugboro atọ ọnwụghị ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tụbụ na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ ibe mabata n'ime ụlọ mbịa bupụ m isi a sị na-achọghị ụdị nka ọ wụghị anyị maka a ga-eji
onye si na ya ga-ata anyị ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị mgbe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi gaa rụọ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị bụ ka anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọhịa nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokonye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm juru ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị anya ka isi na-ebu ndị iro anyị anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizọba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọ bụ ọkọwa mgbe emilere Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe ruo ememiri Fero sikwa otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị
ụtọ ọzọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụbụ nwa bụ ekele n'igwe n'ụwa nwunye ọbụla kere gị nweghị mmalite nweghị ọgwụgwụ kama anyị onwe anyị kwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akpọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ego ego mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka iwe na-ekebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ma
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening program. I appreciate everyone that has connected, wherever you connect from. I appreciate you. Like and share the program. Share to family and friends. Share to your neighbors. Invite them and let them know we have come for our evening section. Remember, we always have 2 sections every day. We come in the morning and evening time. We come and spend at least 1 hour in the evening with the Biafran people with updates and the things that are going on in the contraption called Nigeria. Mostly in the evening, we dwell with the Nigerian government and their evil deed. And we go to their media and see their lies and propaganda and debunk them where necessary. So we have come this evening as we always do. And remember, in this platform, we do not come here to instigate violence. We don't come here to attack any people. We don't come here to attack any personality. We don't come here to attack any religion or race. What we do in this platform is to promote Biafra, encourage Biafrans to continue to fight on, continue to hold on to their belief of freedom wherever you are, however you think is the best to get the freedom. We encourage you to continue to hold on to the unity of purpose. That unity of purpose is what we preach every now and again, and we continue to preach it. And we will continue to preach it until we get into Biafra land. And even when we have gone home, we will still continue to preach unity of purpose. Because that is how you can see people be committed to their country, representing their country the way it should be. So today we have come here to do what we know how to do best, to represent Biafra and present Biafra to the world as the only remedy to the failed state Nigeria. So wherever you are watching from, I welcome you and thank you for being on the platform. Give the program a thumbs up and invite somebody, friends and foes. So today, today we dwelt with a very, very important issue, controversial issue. We dealt with it in detail in the morning. And that's the issue that has to do with the sit-at-home. With the message that came from the Liberation Army that they delivered to us, the message that they received from our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, according to their statement, and they delivered the message to us. To some of us who have been here for a long time, there is nothing strange. I still say it again. There is nothing strange and nothing new from that message. It is something we have had over and over again. So they just repeated it to be able to vindicate themselves at this very critical time that we are in. Because the propaganda and blackmail of enforcement has continued to grow. Some people today who claim to be sympathizers of Biafra today are anchoring on that very message of enforcement. And every eyes and accusation is on the Liberation Army. People come, use their name and do things, and people also continue to tag them with things that has nothing to do with them. The accusation is so much, even though they are not in the picture. But every time their name is mentioned, They accuse Mazi Simon Epa, accuse every one of us that we are the one instigating violence in Biafra land, that we are forcing people to sit at home. So what I think they just did was to come and set the record straight as we enter into the next phase of our struggle. And the message was clear. But for one reason or the other, some people misunderstood the message and they took it to a different level, which is also understandable that people are entitled to their opinion. Sometimes people can also understand it differently. We have different levels of understanding and different ways of processing information. So based on how some group of people process their own information, they got it differently, and some other group got it differently. So many of us had our own opinions. But the main reason why we keep on engaging on those, speaking about it and discussing it peacefully without insulting anybody, without attacking anybody, we discuss it with deep, deep respect for every one of us, no matter the group where you are, no matter how rich, poor, or position that you occupy. We respect everybody and we discussed it even much more broader today in the morning. So many people have taken their positions, and those who listen to us will equally be able to make up your mind. For me, I still have my own opinion and I said it, and people can digest it also and look into it and make up their mind. But as I said before, it is time for us to dwell mostly on the positive. We must not see negativity in everything. We must not see negativity in everything. In everything you see, even if it's negative, try to look at the positive aspect of it. There's always two sides to a coin. There's two sides to a coin. It all depends on you and what you want. It's just like the Bible that we all are reading. When you open the Bible, some people will read it and tell you the Bible contradicts itself. Some people will read it and tell you the Bible never contradicts itself. People will understand it differently, interpret it to satisfy their own selfish interests. So that is how life is. So the only difference is that whenever you want to engage or talk, don't just base information on your own understanding alone. Try to consider people around you. Try to consider other knowledge also. Try to consider, and more especially, dwell on the positive aspect of issues. Always keeping your mind on positivity will make you have a very neutral and plain mind, and it will keep you on the safe zone so that you not carry burdens that is not meant for you. The most important way to escape those burdens that are not meant for you is for you to keep your heart free. Keep your heart free. Whenever you get an information, focus on the positivity, because that positive energy is going to sincerely drag positivity to your direction. But if you are one of those who always carry negative energy in everything you hear, you must look at the negative aspect. Sometimes simply because you do not like the person that is speaking, sometimes just because you wanted to make a point, sometimes just because you want to show that you are smarter than the next person. So even when the person speaks, you channel your energy on finding out where there is a fault. As the one you got aka n'ike na ga haru tanshi. Jadara adeji ni bolan. Enwe onye onwe ya aru ni aka n'ike. Sie n'imi ni ga hesite isi nse. So that is how life is. So I urge every one of us to always look at the positive aspect of everything that is happening around us at this particular point in time. If you know what you're going to do to make sure that we are protected, our land is protected, go ahead and do it. Anything you can do that can make us to be recognized as Biafrans, go ahead and do it. If you know what you can do to make sure that our supreme leader, Mazen Nanyokukan, is released, either collectively or individually, go ahead and do it regardless what anybody is saying. If you know anything you can do to affect changes for the release of Mazen Nanyokukan, go ahead, Do it without minding what anybody says. Likewise, the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. If you know anything you can do that can positively affect the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa, go ahead and do it. No matter what you do, people must talk. Whether you are good or you're bad, or even if you sacrifice your life, people must talk. Like some of us who are Christian, even with the whole sacrifice that Christ made on the cross of Calvary, yet he was crucified. And even when he was being judged, they were told that this man is innocent, but they insisted, take his life and give us the criminal. That is how life is. So that is why sometimes you don't drag things too much, because there are people that no matter what you see, they will choose the negative. No matter what happens, they will choose negative. So the only advice I'm going to give, and I continue to give, is that let us always embrace positivity. When you see things, look at the positive aspect. For all things worketh for good to them that love Chukwu. If you have a pure heart and you love God, everything will work for your own good. Even when somebody does something to affect you negatively, the person might be surprised to see that he is blessing you. We have seen it in the scripture where somebody was told to go and curse. Instead of cursing, he began to bless. So it is important we keep a positive mind all the time in anything we do. It's going to help us, make us go a long way. The Biafran people spoke yesterday in a very loud voice, and they made it clear there is no going back. The Biafrans made it clear that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be released unconditionally. It was a clear message, and I believe that the world had them. They got it, and they got it clearly. So we cannot pretend that these things are not happening. We can't take it away. And it is a good thing. Yesterday is a vindication for every one of us. For me, for you, for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for the Liberation Army. Yesterday has vindicated us. Because those who claim to be sympathizers of Biafra that are in various platforms, accusing Mazi Simon Ekpa group of insecurity, accusing Mazi Simon Ekpa of enforcement, accusing Mazi Simon Ekpa group of different kind of, you and I, the accusation is not ending. But yesterday was a vindication also for us. So all things are working for our own good. Do not get discouraged. Do not be angry at nothing. It's time for us to focus on things that matters, because the battle ahead of us is still very, very heavy. But in the midst of that battle, we are going to win. I have strong hope that we're going to win. So this evening, my fellow Biafrans that are watching wherever you're watching from, I would like us to look into one other important issue. The lawyer that some group met, that they discussed with for the case of Mazi Nnamdi, the international lawyer that was gotten for Mazi Simon Ekpa. So the international lawyer held an interview with some groups of Biafrans. They had an interview, and I got that interview. So I'm going to try to play that interview, because many of us didn't hear him. People asked questions, people spoke, asking questions, and he answered. So I want us to watch it together. Let us hear the question that was asked, answers that was given, and then that could also help us to be able to understand what is going on. It will help us also to understand the situation of things, and it could also help us to be able to know about the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa and the efforts some Biafrans are making. Just like I said, any area you can perform. If it is to support Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, go ahead and support him. If it is to support Mazi Simon Ekpa, go ahead. If it is for you to go to international community for lobbying, go ahead. The most important thing is that let there be something you are doing. Don't just be there gossiping or attacking. There must be something. Every one of us must take a responsibility. Just like you are seeing today. If you are defending Biafra land, you go on your defense and defend Biafra with everything you have. If you are working on the ground on diplomacy, continue what you are doing, regardless what anybody says. Continue to do it. When they see the result Of course, people are going to come by. By the time the results begin to come, nobody is going to tell anybody. You don't need to preach and tell anybody, look at what you did or whatever. They will see it by themselves. But the most important thing is that wherever you find yourself, get busy. Just get busy and begin to do something. And as you get busy and you are doing something, I bet you at the end of the day, you are going to come out amazing and you'll be glad you did. So we must continue to do everything humanly possible. Anything we know that is going to work out for us. Anything we know that is going to take us to that height, that is going to present us to the world as a solution. That is what we will continue to embark on. We will say it and speak about it every minute of the day. So let us listen to this very program. While you're listening, as I always say, listen with a plain heart, not with sentiment. If you have a question after listening, then you know the right people to ask questions. If there is something that was explained is not clear for you, next time when the lawyer comes, you can come in and ask the lawyer question, because I saw there that people were asking the lawyer question directly. If there is something you don't understand, you can know the people who are in charge going for that case of the lawyer. You can now go to them and ask questions. If you want to support the lawyer, the case of the lawyer for Mazi Simon Eber, you support it. Because Mazi Simon Eber deserves an international lawyer. That one is fact. Mazi Simon Eber deserves an international lawyer. For the fact that we have not gotten him an international lawyer for so long, it's not good. It doesn't tell good about us. It doesn't tell good about us. Mazi Simon and Mazi Nande cannot have group of lawyers from different categories, home and abroad. Many of them. So I don't know why the case of Mazi Simon will be different. In as much as it's only some certain group who are not with us, but those of us who are under Mazi Simon, we can do it. We can give him the best. We can give him, even if Mazi Simon has 3-4 international lawyers, it is not something bad. It is not bad. If Mazi Simon has 4, 5, 6 lawyers international that are with him, if we can afford it, he deserves it. So I appreciate the group that made that very effort, and I want us to listen to the discussion with the legal team and what they said.
And I want to thank Honorable Joe, who has graciously and generously made himself available to come to our meetings anytime he's called upon. He is not just a lawyer, he is ideologically inclined to what he is doing for us. So even though he is not available for highest bidding. So that said, let me quickly share my screen before I hand over the mic to him. So on this screen, we have had very high-level discussions with people close to the White House, and we've gotten strategic advice based on the information we have provided. So on this screen here, there are 2 key words: morality and the economic aspects of Biafra independence. So when you hear that people are being kidnapped for ransom and that people are being killed that warranted our desire for self-defense, all those fall under morality. When you hear about that someone in Enugu State went to bank to borrow money to cultivate crops, and then Nigeria government sends cattle to gobble up his farm, that falls under morality. When you talk about marginalization, that falls under morality. When you hear that Nigeria was at some point the only country in the world that doesn't teach history in its curriculum, And suddenly they come back with a history that doesn't include the biggest and most important group in the country that falls under morality. Now, one of our attorneys said, being right only wins the case, only about 30%. So the remaining 70% is all those things you do to make sure that justice falls where it belongs. So that we are being killed, we are being marginalized, that we are suffering all kinds of dehumanization doesn't quite guarantee your freedom. But in our case, the economic aspect of our struggle for independence also is in our favor. So, Honorable Joe will be covering the legal and international politics involved in our struggle for independence. There are two other important players in the strategy that are yet not activated. We have activated Lego, and you can see Honorable Joe right there. We have not activated government relations. It's work in progress. We have not activated a strategist that is advising us. It's work in progress. And Biafrans, I can tell you that there is a lot we have achieved in the last few weeks and months, including how we can repackage our self-defense to be in agreement with the U.S. policies. These things will be coming out as we engage these people that will be working with Joe. And again, Honorable Joe, I want to, on behalf of our leader, Mazinda Nikano, our Prime Minister, Eba Simon and Joko, and Biafrans all over the world, to thank you once more and welcome you to this event. And now I hand over the mic so that you can say something. Thank you very much. I hit my mic.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bryson and Emmanuel. And it's an honor to be with all of you this morning for my second time. It looks like from the agenda that I have a half an hour, and I'm going to reserve time for questions. When I used to teach constitutional law at Georgetown, I told my students that I judge my presentations not so much by what I say, although I'll try to say something that's helpful and encouraging, but I judge my statements by the difficulty of the questions that come from my audience. So be thinking of the most difficult questions you can ask me. So Emmanuel started his introduction by mentioning the grace of God. And on a personal level, I have made two trips recently, one to the Republic of Srpska in Europe, which is struggling for its own independence in the face of Muslim aggression, and a second trip to California last week. And during both trips, I met Biafran Catholic priests by accident. I don't think it was totally accidental, because I believe in the grace of God, and I live by what the Jesuits taught me as the Augustinian maxim. St. Augustine said that in everything we do, we should act as if success depends upon our human ability, and at the same time pray as if it all depends upon the grace of God. And in my own family, I have 8 children and 24 grandchildren. I tell my children and my friends that all things are possible by the grace of God and a few Marines. And if you think about this, this is my own personalized version of St. Augustine's maxim. We have to work as if everything depends upon the grace of God. Work as if it all depends upon our human abilities, and pray as if it all depends upon the grace of God. Now, Dr. Bryson mentioned a number of very important issues in the category of morality and Biafran independence. I would like to suggest, for my talk this morning, I would like to suggest that we think about these morality issues and Biafran independence and all of the challenges that face us. We think about them within the prism of what the British author C.S. Lewis called the principle of first and second things. And what C.S. Lewis teaches us, which actually is not his original idea, it goes back to Plato in the year 262 BC. Both Plato and C.S. Lewis described two categories of good things. The first category, both Plato and C.S. Lewis called first things. Actually, Plato called them divine human things. C.S. Lewis is the one who calls them first things. And the second category, Plato calls merely human things. And C.S. Lewis calls the second category of good things second things. And the principle is that if we as humans are only focusing on these merely human things, classic examples of which are money and survival, in the end, we do not achieve these good things. And in the process, we lose our first things. And first things are principles that really define who we are. They are literally things for which we would die. And nobody sees anything about money or survival on anybody's tombstones. They simply do not raise to the level of what Plato called divine human things. And I would suggest humbly that for us, for everybody on this call, every Biafran is a first thing. As was mentioned earlier, some Biafrans have died for liberty, died for the effort, but every human being, and in our context today, every Biafran is a first thing. The other first things that I would suggest we can focus on fall in the category of legal issues. We in America are firmly committed to our Bill of Rights, our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, which proclaims that certain rights are given to us by our Creator and they are inalienable, which means they don't depend upon a government bestowing them on us. We have them by virtue of being creatures of Almighty God. And for us, first things include the due process of law, the right to what the European Charter of Fundamental Rights recognizes as a fair and public hearing within a reasonable time by an independent and impartial tribunal previously established by law. And I quote this European Charter.
Recording in progress.
Fundamental human rights or fundamental rights, because I think in the case of Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, based on what I understand, I don't believe that the Prime Minister was given the fundamental right to due process in his trial in Finland. And I'm committed to doing what I can to support the efforts of his Finnish attorneys. And I've spoken with Tommy Heinonen, and I've spoken with the Prime Minister. And I hope that my legal expertise, my experience, can help the Finnish team obtain freedom for the Prime Minister. And I hope that by the grace of God, my talents combined with the talents of the other people that are supporting the Prime Minister can achieve success. And I will conclude my comments with what I have said in my first meeting, the admonition of then Pope John Paul II, now we call Saint John Paul the Great, who 25 years ago told the Ukrainian people, after the yoke of communism had been lifted off of their backs, he offered 3 suggestions for how we move forward. He said, first, align yourself with like-minded individuals. Second, always try to work within the system if you can. And third, never give up hope, because you are a soldier of Christ. And with that, I'm going to conclude my comments and invite whatever questions you may have for me.
So, Biafrans, please, if you have a question for Honorable Joe, you can raise up your hands. And remember, the question has to stay within the legal field. Thank you very much.
Remember, I don't want to leave this meeting feeling like a failure if I don't get some difficult questions.
You will get them. You
will get them. Don't think I promise you.
Honorable Joe wants the most difficult legal questions to be asked to him.
Yes, Honorable Andy, somebody raised his hand already. I think
Yes.
Dr. Vincent.
Honorable Vincent, you can unmute yourself, please.
I am Dr. Vincent, and my question is this. As you go ahead representing us, because we have high hope in what you can achieve, going by your track record of success. You know, like our leader here, Orema said, we are very hopeful that within you will grant us everything we are looking for. My question is this. We have our supreme leader, we call him our supreme leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, in detention. They call it life imprisonment. He is facing the same thing our PM, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, is facing in Finland. Are you aware of everything going on? Because that awareness will avail you a lot of information to knock this case out.
My answer, Vincent, is that I am learning, and I know from my own personal experience that in order to understand the law, you have to first know the facts. So in order for me to give the best, the most effective legal advice, I have to know the facts, and I'm still learning the facts. I literally yesterday texted with the Prime Minister's Finnish attorney questions about the facts, questions about what evidence was prepared by the Biafran Republic government in exile about atrocities that have occurred to Christians in Nigeria, and why wasn't some of that evidence presented to the court in Finland? So these are factual questions that I need to know in order to formulate a legal strategy so that I can apply my expertise to help the Finnish lawyers obtain the liberty of the Prime Minister. And I know some of these facts. Gioma and Dr. Bryson have shared some facts with me, but I need to get some more facts from the Finnish attorney for me to be able to finish a letter I've already started to the Foreign Minister of Finland that expresses my expert legal concerns about why the Prime Minister is in prison. I hope that answers your question, Vincent.
Thank you so much. That's what I want to hear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Let me just make a quick comment with respect to the question and the answer. Of course, Honorable Joe, we are excited that within this short time you've already shown exceptional depth of understanding of the matters. But for to address the question from a different angle, Dr. Vincent, his immediate priority is PM, and we believe that PM's sentence has a direct relationship with Oyendu's sentence in the zoo. Once the PM situation is resolved, it will also affect Oyendu's situation in Nigeria. So we are moving ahead strategically, and the more we interact with him, the more he gets to other details that are necessary for him to render the best service for Biafra people. Thank you.
I will call on Mazi Ekwensu. You can unmute yourself, please.
Good morning, Biafrans. Good morning, all cabinet members. Good morning, Honorable Joe. My questions. During the course of because listening to what you said earlier, you said that after you did your own little investigation, you came to find out that the Prime Minister of the Biafran people wasn't adequately represented. So, during your conversation with the lawyers in Finland, and when you expressed this concern to them, did they come to terms with you that the Prime Minister did not get the right representation, and also moving forward, are they very much opening to making sure that they do everything possible in accordance with the law to provide that together with them partnering with you? Like, are they willing and ready to make sure that they give the Prime Minister the best representation to ensure that he is freed from where he is? Thank you.
This is Mazi, right? Mazi?
The Quincy.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. The the Finnish attorney with whom I am working right now, his name is Tommy Heineman, and he told me yesterday that the reason why some of the evidence wasn't presented, it has to do with the prior legal representative, or the prior legal counsel for the Prime Minister. So I don't know what's behind that suggestion just yesterday, but I will find out. But the fact that Tommy is telling me that the reason it has to do with prior lawyering for the Prime Minister suggests that in the past, perhaps the Prime Minister didn't receive the best representation. But I do get the sense from Tommy, and I've spoken to him on the phone, and I've gone back and forth with him. I get the sense that he is firmly committed, and he is willing and ready to give his full attention as his zealous advocacy to representing the Prime Minister now with my help. Does that answer your question?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yes,
thank you. I think so.
Thank you so much. Next in line, I will call Homeland Media. You can unmute yourself, please.
Thank you very much. I want to acknowledge the presence of Honorable Joseph and everybody in the house. I am Mazi Ifan, the head of Homeland Media. Sir, with due respect, I would want to know what are the legal prospects of Biafra through the Biafra government in exile, governing council, succeeding against the Nigerian state in relation to the allegations brought against our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and what is the likelihood under applicable domestic and international legal framework of his release within the shortest time possible? Thank you.
So that's a difficult question. So thank you very much. I spoke directly with the Prime Minister about the legal process, and from the Prime Minister's perspective, he didn't have a direct answer, but he suggested that my first effort on his behalf should not be within the judicial system in Finland. He suggested that the first effort should be perhaps a letter from me to the Foreign Minister of Finland to raise at that level sensitivity about some of the fundamental legal questions involved and my involvement. So I'm not a Finnish lawyer. I've studied European law, and I'm knowledgeable, but I know enough to know that I can't pretend to be a Finnish lawyer. So I have to rely on the expertise of the Prime Minister's Finnish lawyers to grasp for myself an understanding of the legal process. And what I can say about the likelihood of the Prime Minister's release, I just go back to what I mentioned earlier. I will do everything in my human ability to obtain the Prime Minister's release, and at the same time, I will pray to God that we obtain that result. And I ask all of you that are listening to continue praying for that result. And my commitment is, to the full extent of my human abilities, I will put my zealous advocate hat on and do what I can to help achieve that result. But it's not going to be done by me personally. It's going to be a group effort, and it will rely on the grace of God.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Thank you. Thank you so much. The next in line is Honorable Nena. You can unmute yourself, please.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning. Barrister Joseph. Good morning. Our chair and everybody there. This is about 9 a.m. here. Now, I have 2 questions for Honorable Joe. My first question is this. Most of us doesn't know you, most Biafrans. Is it possible for you to sort of give us a short introduction and your antecedents in the past regarding issues like ours? And that will give us a bit of relief to make sure that we are on the same page. And my number 2 question is, in the Bible, when Joseph wanted to bless his children, somebody marks himself up in the name of Joseph and wore the dress, a sheepskin. But the father said, the voice I'm hearing is the voice of Jacob, and the body is that of Esau. We are having this understanding or belief that EU has a hand in what is happening to our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Do you in any way have understanding if there is interventions or whatever coming from EU against our Prime Minister? Because we are looking at a bigger picture. We just want to know if you are aware, and if yes, what are your legal activities to stop it or ameliorate it? Thank you.
Thank you, Nena. When you say EU, do you mean the European Union?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was thinking, because you were talking from a biblical perspective and the anointing of Jacob, and then you shifted to EU, and I wasn't quite sure whether EU was a biblical reference or it was a reference to the European Union.
Yeah, that reference was, we might be thinking that this is Finland issue.
Yeah.
It might be, yeah, but the voice might be that from EU. So 2 people doing things, and we are looking at one person. Because I believe that Britain, Sweden, and all of them, they might be doing something on the ground that we don't know to ensure that our Prime Minister is in trouble. So are you aware if such thing is happening or not?
Honorable Nena, please, let me just stop you there, please. First of all, Honorable Nena, I think we have to go back to the introduction. Honorable Joe did an extensive introduction, and he has already told us that he is still learning our case, and he cannot really give you an answer for this very question. He has to understand our case, understand what is happening with our Prime Minister before he is able to answer the question. Otherwise, it would just be pure speculation. Thank you very much. And please, Honorable B, the last hand is going to be Madam Nki, please. Thank you very much. Honorable Nena, thank you for your answer.
Sorry, Honorable Joe, just before you, if you want to say anything to that question, it's up to you. Otherwise, Honorable Nena, as a matter of fact, Ricky has a position statement that is pasted on our website that is saying that EU, UK, they are supporting or sponsoring genocide in Nigeria by what they are doing or what they are not doing. These details are part of the information that being provided to the council. He will use them to the best way possible. So he is not to be made to make certain pronouncements on this platform, but he will have rigid position statements, and based on what he is seeing, he can take it to any direction that he wants to. But the other point I have to make is that with Joe, he is able to pull U.S. influence into this matter, and that would, on its own, counter whatever Nigeria, EU, and UK is doing to Finland, that is making them bend backwards to do what they are doing. Joe stated that our PM is a political dissident, he's not a terrorist. Fighting for your people who is facing existential threat shouldn't be a crime. Now, as I opined earlier, being right is only 30%. You're being right will only get you justice about 30% of the time. The rest of the time, 70% is all the maneuvering that happened, and such maneuvering like Finland being susceptible to influence from UK, EU, Nigeria can thwart justice, the cause of justice. So we are hoping that US getting involved in the matter can at least neutralize some of those negative influence from EU, UK, and Nigeria. So with that said, Honorable Joe, it's not for you to say whatever you feel comfortable saying. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just address the first question from Honorable Nina. It's public record that I have, over the last 10 years, supported Christians in the Nineveh plains of Iraq that were subject to genocide and being attacked by ISIS and needed to protect themselves. I've also supported Christians in Syria that were subject to genocide by Muslim jihadis, and I am currently, as I mentioned earlier, I was in the Republic of Srpska last month. I'm also helping the Christians in the Republic of Srpska deal with not necessarily genocide, but persecution by Europeans, by an office that was set up by Europeans that seems to be bent on promoting Muslim jihadis at the expense of Christians. So I share this with you because you asked me to let you know if I've been involved in issues like yours. And the answer is yes. And with regard to your biblical reference, I will maybe conclude my remarks by telling you something that's not public, but I was very honored last week in California to be anointed with holy oil by a Biafran Catholic priest when I told him what my mission was. So I hope that's comforting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. The next person is the judge. Please, can we be brief and fast with our questions? Thank you. The judge, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, and Honorable Joe, remember, he is scheduled for 30 minutes, and I think that 30 minutes is over.
I think this might be my last question then, okay?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Good evening.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
My name is Aristide. I greet you, Honorable Joe. My question is, with the level of insecurity going on in Nigeria and the amount of killings and violence that is going on in northern Nigeria, I feel that with no time it will spread into Biafra. Now, preparing a self-defense force within the Biafran territory may be perceived.
Hold on.
No, don't go there.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Honorable, please, sorry, this is not a legal question for you.
No.
This person just wants to talk about insecurity back home, and that's not your question.
And he said this is his last question, so we need to thank
So we
him.
can let him go. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm open to one more legal question if there is one.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable. Go ahead, please.
No, not Honorable Roby, please.
Let's give opportunity to the others. I stand there. I see Madam Iki also.
Okay, Madam Iki, go ahead. Only one more question, please.
Advantage was first before.
Advantage
was first. Advantage, you can unmute yourself, please.
Okay, greetings, everyone. Good morning, Honorable Joe. Thank you for accepting to do this for us to represent our Prime Minister and Brigade. So my question is the kind related to what Honorable Nena asked you, that I will just cut it off based on what Dr. Brighton said. You know, on the 22nd January 2026, United States and Nigeria held the inaugural session of the Joint Working Group on Security and Religious Freedom in Nigeria. So the key participants from that section was Alison Hooker under Secretary of State for Political Affairs. So, and he led about eight U.S. federal agencies to this meeting. And so, with my question is, with all this United States delegation in attendance, do you believe there will be obstacles in defending our Prime Minister and Brigade? Thank you.
So first, I'm not personal friends with Undersecretary Hooker. I'm encouraged in one sense that there are 8 U.S. State Department representatives focusing on Nigerian issues. I am heartened that what I hear within this Department of State is that Secretary Rubio is significantly revamping how we do business in our Department of State, because for many years it's been kind of famous or infamous for being sort of an entrenched bureaucracy and not necessarily pursuing the right agendas. So I know some of the other senior leaders at the Department of State, and they're good people. I met Secretary Rubio as Senator Rubio. He's not a personal friend of mine, but everything I see over the last year, he seems to be doing a great job as our Secretary of State. He's also, as you know, the chairman of the Security Council. So he was inevitably involved one way or another as a leader in what happened on the 2nd of January. And all I can say is that I have seen in the past where our State Department is not helpful on legal issues. I am hopeful that with the leadership we currently have, and with the leadership coming from President Trump, frankly, to come out publicly and say, I'm not going to turn a blind eye to the murder of Christians in Nigeria, and then taking action. I am hopeful that we will not see any obstacles from the Department of State to our efforts legally to obtain the release of the Prime Minister. And to the extent that I have to engage with the Department of State, with the very senior people whom I know, I will. I will not hesitate if I have any sense that our State Department is interfering with my legal efforts, together with the Finnish team. I will not hesitate to reach out to my friends in the Department of State and to the White House, if needed, to support my legal efforts.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Honorable Joe, please, can I beg for one more question? The last. This is the last. Please. This person is begging.
Of course.
Bonus question. Okay, thank you so much. Madam Muki, please, you can go with your bonus question. Thank you so much, Honorable Joe.
It's not actually a question. I just want to throw accolades to him, appreciate him for, I know, deciding to help us in our quest to help our Prime Minister, Mr. Simon Ekpaya, because throughout last year, we were just all cries and tears, you see, and there was no third eye to look into what is going on with him, you see, and we are so depressed with what Finland did, you see, so thank you so much. We try as much as possible to support, and we do appreciate the support you are also rendering in return. So let me not just go into too much narrations about this. But we really appreciate, sir. We appreciate. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Please have you back.
Sister, you are so much welcome and appreciated.
Just for reference, she's food with joy, she's food with emotion, and she's excited like many Biafrans having you here, and we are looking forward to what we can do with you. God bless you.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Joe. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Honorable Joe, Biafrans are really appreciative people, dimension. So I just want on behalf of all Biafrans to tell you how grateful we are for what you've done in the past, for what you're doing, and what you will do. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable
God
Joe.
bless you.
Thank you
God
so much.
grant you the wisdom. God grant you the wisdom, the discerning spirit to know what to do, when to do, and how to do. You go. God is with you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's a bonus.
Thank you.
I will take a crack and then I will let others take a crack. Thank you very much, our sister Amaka Beg. I want to say one thing. One, Nigeria is a lawless country. Nigeria is a country that believes in corruption, bribery, and every other thing that is in between. So Bruce Fenn, being unable to access Onyendu in Nigeria, it shouldn't be a surprise to us. After all, Nigeria went to Kenya and kidnapped him. And they even tried to marry Pico.
Yes, I'm coming.
Right? So let us pack Nigeria. somewhere. These cannot be compared with what is happening in Finland. Honorable Joe is not licensed to practice in Finland. He cannot litigate PM's case. And he stated it here, it's not just because Finland, even in the United States, before you can practice law, you must have a license. If you live in Florida and your license is a Florida license, for you to go to any of the Carolinas to practice, you must also obtain Carolina license, right? You cannot use license within the states. You cannot use license from one state and practice in the other state. If you want to do that, you got to go to that state to obtain the license. That's the way it is. Joe is an international attorney. He was not hired to litigate the criminal case against PM. He was hired to tackle the influence of Nigeria, EU, and UK. With his international portfolio, he can do that. He is doing that already. He met with the PM. You heard him when he said that. What can I do for you? He only said what he could say publicly. There are others that he couldn't say publicly. And the PM told him, it's not for you to come and stand court to defend me, no, but for you to work with my attorney to figure out what we have to do, what went wrong. One of the things that went wrong, he said, was the appeal attorney told him that the trial attorney failed to present all the evidence. We already know that. And now this is what? Real. It is evidence against whatever process that happened in the past. And you cannot get an attorney that is in Finland leveling such. You need influence from outside and an influence from such an attorney as Joseph Smith. That's what he is hired for. He is hired to be the international eye that would say, absolutely not, you cannot do this. Now, if you are talking Nigeria, if he tells Nigeria, Nigeria may say, forget it. But not with Joe. That is, it's really important to say that Joe is not Bruce Fenn. They are not even in the same category. I am sorry, Bruce Fenn, but they are not in the same category. So, Joe is Joe. Bruce Fenn is Bruce Fenn. Where Joe enters, Bruce Fenn cannot enter. There's also this issue of integrity and principle. So even with Nigeria, Nigeria is going to bow for Joe. But when the time comes, after all, Nigeria is bowing for Trump. Did Joe Biden do anything? So we cannot compare apples and oranges. Joe has his own job. It is really important for us to understand that the Prime Minister committed no crime. However, he was charged with terrorism-related offenses. If anyone is telling you no, he was not charged for that, that's a lie. We have his charges. If anyone is telling you something you pay money for, no. Biafra has a tax bill to pay. You don't go to prison for tax bill. You negotiate with the authority, they give you a payment plan, and then you pay the taxes. On record, PM was sentenced for terrorism-related offenses. But PM committed no crime. He is a political dissident. And Finland is holding him because other people that have some bilateral relationship with Finland are asking them to keep the PM, find some bogus law and bogus crime and put it on top of him. That is what that is the nut that Joe has to crack. After all, ask yourself, why did Briggs bring all the evidence in the trial and the attorney did not present? Didn't even show the PM. Didn't show it. This time around, it's not going to. The PM didn't even know about it. He was surprised after the sentence. He saw all the evidence and he was so angry. Ask yourself, why was that allowed? It is because he is a political dissident. So my sister Amaka, I need you to have that faith and know that without Joe, we will have what is called, I think Dr. Bryson called it, legal blind spot. Legal blind spot. Because you're going to carry all the evidence. Political dissidents are not freed or imprisoned because they are not imprisoned because they committed a crime. No. The state comes up with a crime and maneuvers the law and maneuvers the defense so that there won't be a crime. And they are then charged. And they are not freed because you have a bag full of evidence. They are freed because there's someone who is qualified. Say, absolutely not, you cannot do this. And there is no other person more qualified than a former Inspector General of the Department of Defense that can stand up and go wherever he wants to go. And that is ideologically linked with Biafra. Yes. And a Biafran boy, ideologically linked with Biafra. You can't say, come, I give you oil well. He will say, hell, no, I don't need oil well. I am happy where I am. I just want freedom. The first thing, remember, he told us about the first thing, and being a Biafran is the first thing. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, well said. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof.
Please, I just want to check with Professor Choma. Respect. I don't want to explain everything in my heart. But we must be careful this time around.
So thank you everyone that have listened and watched. We have just heard the lawyer made some explanation and explain what he has to do and what should be expected on him. And some of the members of the group also made explanation. And I think it's very clear. It is important we have information about Mazi Simon Ekpa, how the case is going and what is happening. Some things that are being said here is very painful. It's really shocking and disturbing. It's really disturbing. The way Mazi Simon Ekpa was treated, the way the case was handled is really disturbing. It's a shame. It's a shame. So I thank Chukwu Gabiama that this is coming up and people are doing things. Wherever you are, any group you belong, we must do something to make sure we continue to protect the interests of Biafra and the interests of our Prime Minister. So the reason of my playing this video is for us. Some of us are confused about it. Some of us did not really know who the international lawyer is, what he's going to do, and what he's not going to do. And like the day I was showing, the day I was talking about it on my platform, somebody was also saying that the lawyer cannot litigate in Finland because he doesn't have a license in Finland. And it has also been explained here also. It will also be explained that his duty is not to litigate in Finland court. It is not to go and stand for Mazi Samson and Finland God, but to do some international backup, give Mazi Samson some international backup, and make sure that he stands against every blind spot, like certain things that are going to be denied, his rights that will be denied because of political interests of Finland and other things. Those things that will be denied him, the lawyer can be able to shift those things and also put the interests of Biafrans and that of Master Simon forward, and make sure that Finnish authorities and their court do the right thing by equally, if necessary, involving the United States of America. So it is a good move. It is a good move. As many lawyers as possible that can be able to look into it. If I am able, I can even get my own personal lawyer to join. So every move everybody is making is very important. Whatever you know you can do, as long as it is save our Prime Minister, it is welcome. It is welcome. So it is a welcome move that they made. So every Biafran have had it. If you still have anything, doubt or question, you know people to ask, you know people to contact, and you ask your questions where necessary. So my fellow Biafrans, we have to continue to speak. All this is happening because of where we found ourselves in the zoological republic called Nigeria, a country that doesn't mean well. Nigeria does not mean well for any one of us. Nigeria does not want us alive. Nigeria does not care about you, does not care about me. And we will do everything humanly possible to get out of Nigeria. Mazi Nandekan did not commit any offense, neither did Mazi Samapa, but they are being persecuted. But we are not going to shy away from our responsibility. We're not going to run away. We will continue to do what we have to do. So before we go finally, let's listen to this video. Let me see if we can be able to visit, or I'm not sure we're going to be able to play this video because it's a very long video. We cannot be able to go into that. So my fellow Biafrans, I think tomorrow we're going to play the videos I have and other programs. I'm really exhausted and it is late already. I have to take some rest and get ready because tomorrow is another day. We still have more things to do tomorrow. So please, wherever you are, continue to pray for Mazi Simon Ekpa. Continue to pray for Mazi Nandekan. Continue to make your contributions in any way you can to make sure that our leaders are freed. Continue to pray for them. I pray that Chukwu Okike will guide and protect every single one of us that have joined this program. I appreciate you, and I pray that Chukwu Okike will guide and protect our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa and our Supreme Leader Mazi Nandekan. No weapon formed or fashioned against us shall prosper, and no weapon formed or fashioned against our leaders shall prosper. Thank you so much for listening. See you tomorrow morning. Good night.
This is from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died, that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no longer them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright. Tell them I wanted me. Remember when me tell you say I wanted me. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way would you like tell you what I am. Me no back up, me tell them say what
I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore their May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eyes for other Biafrans and for freedom and to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, forever be a part. They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and never, and never, and never.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation.
We bled in our history, that the death of my people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bombed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes of our fallen heroes.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them a patient people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause we to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for the freedom of unborn child. We live for the legacy.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright. Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Yeah. Put the flag in the air. Never be afraid. March on. Cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah. You know what it is.
I'm looking at myself in
We
the
must
mirror.
revenge. And we must stand to represent who we are.